Could you help some of our listeners and myself as well? Like, how do you identify your unique gift and strengths?
Wow, very deep question. You got to ask yourself this question is, what are you very sensitive to? What are you very sensitive to? For example, if you walk into a room, what is the first thing you notice? To tell you the truth, the first thing I walk into a room, the first thing I feel is the emotions of the room. I can walk into a room full of people and I can kind of feel like, I think people here are feeling very anxious. I can feel the anxiety. And I feel anxiety inside my body. I feel the same anxiety. And that tells me that the room is full of anxious people. So that is my sensitivity.
Right.
But that may not be your sensitivity.
Sure.
Maybe your sensitivity could be a sense of smell, a sense of taste. Then maybe you could be, like I say, a perfumerist, or you could be a wine connoisseur. You could be a baker. Maybe you're more sensitive to, fixing certain problems, right? Maybe if some people are good at fixing IT issues, computer problems. Maybe you're good at, you're ultra sensitive to conflict, right? If you see people who are not getting along with each other, it makes you feel very, uncomfortable. It makes you feel very uneasy. Then you're very ultra sensitive to conflict. Then lean into that sensitivity and ask yourself, now with this sensitivity, what can I do? What am I picking up? What info, what data am I picking up from the environment? And what can I do about it? And if you realize that you have this gift for helping people to resolve conflicts, you have this gift for bringing people together, then that is a gift. And very often, the second thing is this: very many people who have a gift are so gifted in it that they don't realize they are gifted in it. It's like, you do it all the time. And when people say, hey, Joshua, you're really good at doing that. And you're like, no, nothing was. Like, I do it all the time. So being able to receive people's feedback and receive people's compliments. I think in Asia, we are not very good at receiving compliments. When someone says, hey, Joshua, nice shirt, you're like, hey, thanks, nice suit, nice too. You're wearing nice suit too. It's like, you deflect
compliment.
You deflect the compliment by giving it back, right? So when people give you a compliment, receive it and keep a compliment log. Like when you receive a compliment, like just when you have a free time, do a voice message on your phone, say, hey, someone complimented me on this, or you just type it out inside in a little notepad in your phone, or carry a notepad with you and write it down. And when you go home, transfer all of those compliments into maybe an Excel spreadsheet. I mean, it's not so sexy, but just do it, right? Because at the end of the month, when you review all the compliments you receive, you start to notice patterns. You start to realize, oh, these are the things that people compliment me about. And you cannot ignore it. You cannot ignore it by saying, oh, nah, it's nothing, I was just lucky. No, if you receive it long enough, if you receive one compliment, it is just an occurrence. If you receive two, it is maybe a coincidence. If you receive three or more, now that's a pattern, my friend. When you start to see all these patterns, you cannot unsee it. Then you will start to realize, maybe that really is my superpower. So my second tip for you, second step is own your compliments. Listen to it, the compliments, receive it, digest it, take it in, and not note it down.
Love that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And the third thing is experiment. Take time out to experiment. It's like Google allows their employees to take 20% of the time to experiment on some projects that's not related to work. And one of those experiments resulted in Google Map. Same for 3M. They allow their employees to take 15% of the time to experiment. And one of those experiments resulted in the Post-it pad. So take time to experiment. I know you have your work. I know your family commitments. I know you have this and you have that. If you need to take time away from something else, for example, friends, invite you to go out, you're very social, you like to socialize, but experiment something. So even if you love to socialize, maybe that's your superpower. Every time you go socializing, don't just do same old, experiment with something. Maybe today during the socialization, I'm going to ask a question to everyone. I'm going to ask this question: what gives you freedom? Now that's a very deep question to ask, right? And that might be a great question to ask. And so experiment or find pockets of opportunities to experiment. Because if you don't experiment, how then do you know whether your gift is valued by other people?
That's true.
And once you realize your gift is valued by other people, you'll be compelled to do more and more of it. That's how you lean in and develop your gift.